Ho! What is up, you guys? My name is Blissfortune1 and welcome back yet again to Changeling Tale! We're moving right along finally with the story. I wanted to point something else. I had to look this up because I'm that stupid. Okay, now. You guys know I've been playing this game for a very long time. Under this, I think it's under memories. Yeah, there's a cast profile as well as other things. But if you go to story branches, I believe it's story branches. Yes, you have these little things right here which shows you the trophies and the shows you all the trophies you can get as well as the Easter eggs. There's one on the menu called Listen to Hazel's Quote. It took me so long to find this, I had to look it up. So without actually trying to spoil myself on anything, I also found out something cool that I'm probably going to go back and do eventually. I didn't look up a lot of these, but this one right here, no, it's an achievement, I think. This one, Yacht Envy. To get that is funny as hell, and I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. But I'm gonna show you how to get this menu one because it drove me nuts, so nuts, and I had to look it up. And I felt so stupid because I looked at this so many times. There's a cast profile and there's a picture of Hazel. Now I'm gonna give you guys a second. Where's the quote? Do you see a quote? It's right here. I saw that so many times and never clicked on it. I felt so stupid, I had to share that. So, we're going to move on with Life and Things. We're going to continue the story and maybe finish it out. I don't know how much longer Grace's chapter has, but like I say, even when I finish Grace's chapter, we're not fully done with the game because I want to try and get 100% on this game because it is fucking amazing before the next pieces come out. I don't know if those are going to be DLC or what, but either way, anyway. We're moving on with the game. I just wanted to show you guys how stupid I am because that was such an obvious thing and I'm just so stupid never figuring it out. So, here we go. The scene of Grace submerged beneath the steely sea, replays over and over in my mind. A solemn conclusion to months of romance, weeks of confusion, and days of waiting for Grace to return only to leave again, perhaps forever. I still can't wrap my head around it. I certainly can't seem to let it go. Let it go. As I lie in bed, passing minutes feels like days, hours like lifetimes, one sleepless night an eternity. If time truly has the power to heal this freshly reopened wound, it could at least have the courtesy to pass faster. It took all my energy to sail home and return to my lonely room after yesterday's heartbreak. There I lay consumed by darkness. Gran, bless her soul, sensed my pain and left me alone. She always knows when to give me space. And when to give me scones. When dawn's rays begin to shine through the window, it's the scent of the freshly baked goods that finally coax me out of my room and out of my funk. Hold on. Oi. Something smells delightful, Gran. The scones, it's your grandfather his rest with his big old pee-pee. Favorite and the only way to get him out of bed some mornings. I chuckle and sigh. I was feeling ashamed. I'm sorry, Gran. A plate of piping hot pastries is thrust into my hands. Don't apologize. Eat while the scones are still warm. She pulls a chair out for me at the table and motions me to sit. Yesterday's troubles can wait. Today's a new day. And the best way to start the day is... Her question comes just as my mouth sinks into a sweet, soft bread. The answer barely escapes through my full mouth. With Gran's cooking. I love Gran so much. She's adorable. Gran's kindness and nourishment fills me with the warmth I need to stave off the darkness I carry inside. At least for a time. What pastries remain I wrap into a care basket. They won't fill the void of what's been lost, but a gift is a gift. There's one person who needs to know she's not alone. One person with whom I can commiserate. With Grace's instruction in mind, I walk across the dawn-lit fields toward the McLeod farm. Ah, my nose. Normally, Marion would be tending to the herd at this hour, but the cows who dot the rolling hills roam alone. After yesterday's grief, Marion may be feeling as reluctant as I was to leave bed. As I approach the door, part of me wonders if I ought to give her some space, as I'm torn myself between the desire for solitude and the need for someone to lean on. Really? You're giving me a fucking choice. I'm gonna knock on the door. Misery loves company. I shove off the gloom gloom I'm carrying and square my shoulders as I step up to the front door. The muffled sound of footsteps means Marion is up and about, at least. I just hope she is up for company. Jesse? Malcolm? There's a brief pause, but no awkwardness as we both go in for a hug. Jessie's hair feels like corn silk against my cheek, and she's scented of rose and pine. I can't believe it's you. That makes two of us. Marion peeks her head around the corner. Her face is flushed and covered in fresh tears. Come in. I hope that's happy surprise to see me. I've gotten a bit of everything from my sis here. Oh, my nose. Ah, bollocks. I make my way inside, equal parts bewildered and relieved that Jessie is here to keep her sister company during this difficult time. As I pass Marion, I can do is offer her a sympathetic hug. Every word of reassurance and condolence I'd planned to say is out the window. Where will our conversation go now in regard to Grace? How much does Jessie know? These are happy tears, Jessie, but I'm so scared for Grace. Just as I was when you left. I still don't understand. I come back and she disappears. Where's she off to? Did she leave a note and talk to someone? Marion gives me puppy dog eyes that I can tell are begging me to come up with a story Jessie will believe. Well, Grace did speak to me yesterday before she left again. So she's already gone without saying goodbye to me? Jessie looks heartbroken until Marion pipes up. Well, you did the same to us. That draws a glare, which I'm thankful not to be on the other end of. I'd been telegraphing leaving for months. This is so sudden, so unlike her. If Grace ever left home, it was only to go to the lock. She's not wrong. What changed? Did she leave because of Father's letter? No, Grace has been planning this for a while. She left 2 weeks ago, only to return yesterday, just to say goodbye for good. Jessie, I spoke with her yesterday too. She asked me not to see you. She asked not to see you. Well, how should I put it, Malcolm? How would I put it, indeed? Grace didn't want anyone else trying to convince her to stay here. Surely you understand, Jessie. It was just her time. Jessie seems to be toying with this emotional puzzle in her mind. She looks hurt, but how can she not see the irony of wanting to see off her sister after leaving us all in the middle of the night? You sure she's all right? Where's she going? She wouldn't say. Wouldn't say. And since when are you her best friend, Malcolm Campbell? Why did I say that like that? Why did I say that like a freaking robot? We've gotten quite close in the past months. And now she's taken off. Some friend you must be. Ow! Jessie got straight up barbs, man. Jesse, stop. Malcolm has nothing to do but the best for Grace. A friend and partner in crime, I'd say. Well, I can only hope Grace returns just as I did. There's only so long so long you'd be away from your sisters before your soul starts to ache from longing. I knew you were secretly a pack animal. I love the way you guys do that. Like, fucking seriously. The way you guys seriously, like, poke fun at it and, like, poke, like, cross path, I guess you can call it. Sorry. But it just fascinates me that you guys do that every now and then. Because, you know, every now and then, I've noticed in Jesse's chapter, it pokes fun at Marion's chapter for being a cow. And in Marion's about, Grace being a, you know, watery fish type thing. It's just so fucking funny. The two siblings embrace once more, leaving me feeling like I'm not the only one, not only in the way, but going to cause more trouble if I stay and whine about losing Grace. Well, I can't just sit around bemoaning Grace's God, what is with you guys in these words? Imponsciousness? I hope I said that right. Who would like tea and Agnes's scones? Are these your grands, Malcolm? That's very sweet. I'll try one later, but right now I need a long nap. I'm accompanying Agnes to play whist again tonight. It hits me that if my grandmother and Marion had been gossiping together, Gran may know more about this whole situation than she lets on. By yourself? Would you like me to join? That's very nice of you offer, but I believe Douglas will be picking me up. He only has room for 3 in his carriage. Douglas, didn't you just have tea with him last night? I did, and I'm allowed to accompany him to town this evening as well. That's just my liberty. Aye, if you'd rather canoodle with your gentleman than spend time with your kith and kin, that's your decision. Enough, I need my sleep. Malcolm, thank you for coming by. Please tell your gran I'll see her shortly. And she takes my hand in hers before retiring to the bedroom. Sorry about Grace. Maybe I'll have the right words to say another day. Squeeze her cold and gentle. I squeeze her cold hand gently and let her go. Maybe someday we both will. I do love how I frickin' was able to come up with a fucking voice for Malcolm, and I can always seem to end up going to it. Because this, I believe, is what I would sound like if I was Portuguese, Scottish, or Irish, either one of it to say. Because it's kind of like a Scotch-Irish kind of combined thing from both of my lineages. Because from my grandfather telling me about my family lineage and tree and stuff like that, I do have some Scottish and I have some Irish in my blood. So there you go. So I'm able to kind of do that on a whim. And also I've watched a lot of stuff like Boondock Saints, one of my favorite Irish themed kind of movies and stuff like that. So just mimicking what their accents kind of sort of sound like, I'm able to kind of sort of replicate it. I know it's not perfect, so all you guys that are Irish or Scottish out there, I do believe if I offend anybody or something like that, it's just me doing an accent. So, you know, if anyone does a southern drawl or something like that, I know I have that occasionally because, I'm from Texas. I'm from the South. So there you go. Anyway, as Marion walks out, Jesse begins opening cupboards. So Father's coming home and Grace has left us in the lurch. Where's that little imp's cordial? I could use a stiff drink. Before I can answer, she yanks a bottle off a high shelf. The ruby red liquid inside shines in the morning light. I have a vision of Grace's beacon and shut my eyes tightly to wish it away. When I open my eyes, I find between us 2 glasses filled to capacity. Jessie raises hers and I join in mine, and listening to the faint clink as we toast to what? Cheers to your triumphant return. Aye, that's a very kind of you, dear sir. I take a careful sip, relishing in the sweet elixir, and watch Jessie swallow half the glass in one go. Not the return I was expecting, but I'll take it just the same. I'm very sorry it wasn't more celebratory. I know Grace would have loved to see you. And that's not the story I'm getting. You have to understand, Grace has been... Take another sip before proceeding. Forlorn, lost, but also incredibly happy and fulfilled. Her life has been full of ups and downs since you've been gone. You're truly sure she's safe on her own? Quite. I've seen her battle her demons and always come out on top. She's absolutely incredible. You didn't want to join her? I did join her in one past life, but I changed it for you guys. My throat clears and tears burn behind my eyes. She needed to do this alone. Her independence means a lot to her. Maybe I was more of a role model to my wee sis than I realized. Jessie nods along and I notice her eyes look wet too. I didn't mean to abandon them. I love my sisters more than anything. I needed that time for me. I know. I didn't know what true independence was until I gave it to myself. No asking permission or having family try to talk me out of dreams yet again. And it was amazing, all of it. You don't want to hear all of my tales, do you? So I do, but maybe on another time. Of course, of course. She polishes off her drink and fills it again, topping mine off in the process. Once more, her glass lifts into the sky. To Malcolm and Grace, may they reunite and have everlasting love. So Marion told her that much, at least. I hear some sarcasm in Jessie's tone, but I assure it's only because I'm unwilling to listen to her stories right now. Thank you. May it be possible. Don't you think anything is possible? Jessie, after everything I've seen, anything is possible in this fantastical game. She started to slur her words, and the alcohol is getting to my head as well. She reaches over and places her free hand on mine. I want to believe that anything can happen. Sometimes soulmates are just that, Malcolm, tied together in your soul, in your hearts. That bond can't be broken, even if maybe you're only meant to be together in spirit and not body. The heat radiates from her palm onto my fingertips, and I feel my face flush. Some things aren't meant to be. Oh, fuck that. Save. What if... Rebound! I didn't mean to get that. I just clicked it. But what if those people who are meant to be together in body... I let my hand caress hers gently, both embarrassed and hopeful that she'll reply in kind. Instead, she appears to catch herself pulling her hand from mine and tucking it back into her lap and takes another swig of her drink. Those types of people ought to think carefully of whether it's meant to be or something that's only a deep desire of pleasure. I feel my face go flush with shame and regret. I never should have put Jessie in such an awkward position. I only thought she was flirting with me. I apologize. If the drink goes to my head, I only think the best of you. Her hand returns, floating up to my face, stopping, struck the side of my cheek, lingering at the stubble on my chin. There was a time when I thought the best of you too, Malcolm Campbell. Have I ruined that? I'm sorry, Jessie. Now I think the best of myself. You ought to do the same. Then maybe you shouldn't be fishing around for the best catch in this small pond. From the same family, no less. My heart stings. I didn't mean for that type of rebound. That was just too funny. I couldn't help it. My heart stings, but when I see her smirk collapse into a jovial laugh, I know I'm being teased good-heartedly. You're one of the good ones, Malcolm. Don't let my brazenness fool you. It seems to be a trait that runs in your family. It's for strong women, us McLeods. Don't you doubt it. You need to be strong enough to contend with our whimsy. That's what you call it. She taps her hand against my cheek and then waves as if to the world instead of just us two. There are other ponds, Malcolm, a whole ocean between Aknakraj, you and anybody who should know that. Or you of anybody should know that. So I do. I'm not sure I'm ready to explore it, though. Exploration leads to satisfaction. Did you just come up with that? Of course not, silly. I read it on my travel poster at Queen Street Station. I laugh, reminded that the McLeods and I share a comforting sense of humor. Life is short, very, very short, and you won't realize it until it's too late. If you don't start putting yourself out first. That's something else that runs in the McLeod family. Dreaming big. At least Jessie didn't grow twice as tall and from realizing hers. What if I don't have the grand dreams that you and your sisters have? Sometimes I feel clueless when it comes to goals and aspirations. All the mere reason to leave this tiny village, go on adventures, see new places, meet new people. I came back, but I'm sure not staying. The city is where my heart belongs. She pulls away and starts talking with her hands. The flashing lights, the marquees, the music, the dancing, and all the money, new friends, new foods, new everything. It does sound appealing. It just sounds like a waltz. She locks eyes with me. Sometimes I think the city loves me more than anybody else will. It's not true. There's a few people out there that love you to bits, Jessie. Is that a point of pride or lament? Or is it an accusation? My head spins. Malcolm, you can wait for grace or you can go find your purpose, your worth. And I personally know you have more to offer than the world than you think. I didn't come here looking for another motivational speech, but I find myself awfully glad to be receiving one, especially from a woman who has no obligation to help me. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. I'm in the mood here, and the mood here is entirely to door. What say you pay old Paul Garrett a visit and order some pastries? I can put on my little red dress and do a number or two like old times. May even show off some new moves I've learned in the city. Jessie's mouth curls into a wolfish grin. Oh my god, did I actually stumble into Jessie's chapter here? I expect her appetite is for more than pub grub. She craves the spectacle. And I'm not sure if my heart can take in one of Jessie's sensuous performances right now. That does sound lovely, but I have to return home. Get Gran ready for her evening out on the town. With a knowing roll of her eyes, Jessie relents. You're a lost soldier. Another time, another place, perhaps. Perhaps. I can't believe I got rebound just by fucking around. This time she walks me to the door and our embrace feels more intentional, more caring. She lingers with her arms wrapped around me and sighs softly, whispering in my ear. All good things in time, Malcolm. You only need to find your place. I whisper back. It's for you, Jessie. Welcome home. That was nice. That was sweet. Another reason why I wanted to get back into the game is to hear that. Oh my god, that's good shit. It's been weeks. It's one of the most difficult decisions I ever make. Comes neither lightly nor quickly. I let time do her worst to me, in hopes that she'll bring her best, as Bulgaria promised. Each day during her visit, Jessie repeats her counsel to me: leave town, put myself first. She assures me that Marion will take care of Agnes, and Jessie's city act will support both our families, and though privately I know my money is no object thanks to Grace's parting gift. But I came back for Agnes, for the farm. Who would I be if I left? It's a hard question that has ever been at the forefront of my mind. Unlike the question whose seed Jessie and Grace have planted, which I'd previously even refused to consider. What kind of life would it be for me if I stay? It isn't until I'm seeing Jessie off that I make a choice, that I know who I want to be. The edge of town, as she climbs onto Douglas's carriage to ride to the station, Jessie offers me one last advice. Her parting words are etched into my mind. Even if it's a short holiday, Malcolm, go see new things. Go learn what life is now that the world isn't on fire. The world is ablaze now, but with energy. I can see the energy in her eyes. This war lit a spark, one that ignites cities, countries, and people to all come alive again. Be alive, Malcolm. Come join them. Join us. Jesse's right. I need to live my life. If I don't, I'll regret everything I've lost for the 4 years I was away. I will be for naught, and if I can't enjoy what I've survived to see and experience, I can still picture Jesse waving goodbye from Douglas's carriage as he takes her out of town. Now I stand in the same spot where she departed, where I find myself venturing 5 years ago into the uncertain future. This time, I'm ready to embrace what may come. It's a bright sunny day, an auspicious day to start to my next adventure. To the seas! That'd be cool, but I doubt it. Hi guys! Oh dear God. The send-off is a humble affair, one assembles small or goodbyes, merciful, brief after days of preparation and rehearsal. Gran wanted the Whist Guild to be in attendance, but Marion kindly advised that the guild members may have other activities scheduled that would preclude them from such an intimate affair. Thank goodness for Marion, reliable even in the most heart-rending of circumstances. Her tears flow freely beneath beneath hair that shines like orange honeysuckle. Come back soon, Malcolm. We'll miss you terribly. Oh, it terrifies me to think of you or of anyone all alone in the great unknown. I can't help but wonder if she's thinking more of Grace than me, but I thank Marion for her sentiment nonetheless. Bulgaire, who's regaled me with tales of his travels in his corners of the globe, proffers one final wisdom. Take care each moment as it comes, lad. They're all different, but they're all there to educate you. You learn the most by staying quiet and listening. Douglas shakes his head in silent agreement, knowing a bit more background on the circumstances behind my sudden need to see more of the world. So too does the... Oh, hi, Alana. So too is the blonde-haired woman who Bulgaire inexplicitly invited to this farewell. Her gaze weighs heavy upon me, although it seems uncharacteristically sympathetic this day. I understand that what it's like to lose someone you love, Malcolm. You will always carry around a piece of that person in your heart. But life is all about moving forward. Look back when you must, but do so sparingly, with fondness and intent. My mouth opens, but I can only manage a whispered thanks. Their kindness leaves me feeling overwhelmed with bittersweet feelings. These, the most trusted people in my life, save for Grace. Their collective voices reverberate in my ears, telling me that life is worth living. That life exists beyond the confines of Dr. Crash, beyond the lock, beyond the constrictions I've set upon myself within my mind, within my soul. It's these voices I shall miss the most of Dr. Crash. Isn't just my home, it's my safety. She will always be here for me, as shall my friends, but... I turned towards Gran and choked back tears. This was exactly where my grandfather, Ikrin, took me to the train, to my future. I never saw him after that day. Gran takes my face in her tiny bird-like hands, cradling my chin like an infant, rolling her thumbs along my jaw, as if to impart her wisdom straight into my soul. When what you carry in your heart is no longer enough to sustain you, may the memory that others love you return you home. I will, Gran. I see my final farewells and climb into Douglas's cart. The refrain of Gran's delicate poignancy, all the while repeating in my head, return you home, return you home. I will make it home, but this is my time now. Malcolm, alone, trying to find a joy in the mysteries of a new world. The notion of every bit as jarring as it is freeing. Once again, freedom racks my nerves as much as following the directions others set forth for me. Just as Douglas's horse takes off, I picture Grace running towards us with a tin of biscuits, smiling and out of breath. I deserve to live. I repeat the words until the floodgate of tears opens and I'm ready. I'm ready. I need to leave. Where is this? Oh, it's the train station. Okay. I haven't been here in a while. With the bracing wind against our faces, we ride on. Douglas's steed has much calmer demeanor than my dear Hazel, so we get to the station in good time. In such good time, the train's not even arrived yet. The two of us dismount, gazing at the lonely platform and empty tracks. I become lost in thought, pondering the future and the past. Here we are again, eh? I know what he means, but I don't know how to respond. Do you remember the day you left to enlist? I hesitate, knowing my answer, knowing it is still difficult for me to talk about. When last I came here, the day I took Jessie to the station, I bawled on the ride back. Bawled like a wee bairn. I'm sorry, Douglas. I know men aren't supposed to talk about their weaknesses, but I tell you, Malcolm, there was no preparing for the darkness I felt in my soul seeing that train arrive again. I thought I'd be elated, reminded of my return home, my invigorating days at sea, nay, memories of being scared, alone, traveling with mere boys on the train to God knows where. Boys like us, were ones that didn't come back home on the train. Brothers. Yeah. He clears his throat and looks at me. Don't mean to pepper you with sadness for your big excursion. Just wanted to be prepared for a hit of nostalgia, and not the good kind. I'm still not sure what to say, but I stare out at the highlands, imagining standing here instead with Grace by my side. I startle myself when I picture her as a sea creature she just became. I envision her giving me the same warning but spitting it positively. Malcolm, even if you're scared, don't let sadness overtake you. Just be thankful you still have you, because you are the best Malcolm there ever was. I shake my head, returning to reality. I appreciate the warning, Douglas. I honestly don't know how I'll react. Thankfully, Douglas changes the subject. I do have a bit of good news to share. Do tell. Papa Murdoch polished up me a great aunt's good Lord rest her soul wedding ring. I've a mind to ask Marion for her hand in marriage. Happy revelation brings a genuine smile to my face. Aye, that's spectacular news. Should be happy as a clam. Ha, clam, Marion. I tell you said that. You don't have to do that, Douglas. Douglas looks away and nods, jostling his bushy beard. I owe you an apology, Malcolm. Let's have a thought. You know I still can't comprehend your infatuation with that fish, Grace. I certainly know what true love feels like. And damned if anyone should ever lose that feeling. Turns back to me and tips his hat. I'm sorry about your loss. I'm sorry I was quick to judge. Beastie that she is. It's alright, Douglas. I appreciate your apology. Thank you kindly. Oh, there, lad. Steam on the horizon. If it gives me a choice to go or stay, I'm not going. I'm going to go back to the lock. I follow his gaze and spot a tiny wisp of white, fast growing. Douglas is right about seeing the train again for the first time. Though it's not painful nostalgia that hit, the rumble in my heart is that for Grace, as has become my norm. This thing stops turning on me. There we go. How beautiful it could have been to bring her here, to start our adventure together. Of course, you're going the wrong direction. You need to be going on the sea, not by train. What's wrong with you? Alas, it is only Douglas who hands me my satchel and bids me a kind farewell. I'll leave you here, lad. Too short through your sentiments and peace. Thank you, Douglas. I'll take some time for sure. You tackled evil masses in the Fey world as well, Malcolm Campbell. You deserve a moment of peace. May everything hereafter bring you good tidings and full belly. Oof! Is everyone always belting me one before leaving? In a swift embrace, I stand alone, watching him guide his horse and carriage back down the path to Achnakrash. I'm left staring at the station building, up at the door, the roof, the sky, clouds scattered in blue. So begins my journey, bittersweet though it may be. To where? Not planned. For how long? As long as my body wants to keep going. Choo-choo! I'm actually rather surprised that it didn't give me a choice there. Whoa! Where the hell am I? Dear grandmother, I write to you from the shores of the river Seine in Paris. It's different view altogether from the shores of the Loch Finlay. All above and everywhere around the lights shine day and night. I can honestly say I enjoy it, but it has been hindering my sleep at times. Well, that and all the Parisian coffee I find myself drinking. I've just arrived in France after a stay in London, where I saw more than I dreamt of seeing in a lifetime. The city brims with art and entertainment. The food there can't compare to your cooking, though. The fuck was that? Hold up. Oh, okay. My heart yearns to see you again. I dream at night of days back home beside you, hearing your voice and having you scold me for talking too much and drinking too little. Or is it the other way around? I miss you so much. Please send my well wishes to all the village. I hope to reunite with all of you soon. While my life is currently here overseas, my heart always remains at home with you. With all my love, Malcolm. I set my pen down. I'm going to click everywhere here for a second. I set my pen down and leaned back into the cafe's comfortable chair, letting the sound and smell of Paris wash over me, if only Gran could see it. Elegant architecture, colorful storefronts, flocks of fashionable dressed citygoers, the smell of delectables, savory and sweet, cooking on every corner. Here on the banks of Seine, it feels more like a festival than a city. I just wish a companion was here with me to share in the experience. So long ago, Grace offered to ferry me up the river to Paris if only I'd taken her up on the offer then. I close my eyes and sip my coffee, reminding myself why I came. Not to dwell on the past, but to live in the present. Still, I can't help but juxtapose the visit to my last. The streets were so much bleaker. Then, we came to Paris on leave, and despite from battle, the war never felt far. The icy touch reached here too. The city felt muted, hollow. Its people fled, mobilized, or worried for their loved ones, in constant fear of enemy mere miles from the gates. Now the Parisians bustle with activity, smile, and chatter. After all the loss and hardship, I wonder where they find the strength to celebrate. I shake my head and take another sip of coffee. Each drink of the bitter liquid scalds my mouth. Coffee is freaking amazing, but I welcome the heat. I can still feel pain just as easily as I can feel joy. Oh, I may find joy again soon. Out of the cafe's clatters and dessert cart, and we customers collectively turn our heads. It carries a platter that is a sight to behold, stacked higher with treats than ever possible under wartime strict rationing. I eagerly flag the cart pusher down. Okay, is that Soldat? Soldat, do I look like someone who's seen war, or does she simply assume I served? So many men my age did. Un s'il vous plaît. I do s'il vous plaît. I point at the item on the platter just as the woman doesn't understand my pronunciation. She smiles and she knows I'm trying my best, even though I'm butchering her language. As she plates my pastry, I reach into my pocket and pull out a few coins. Bon, monsieur, pour assist how you say on the house. She places the plate in front of me with a clink and smiles once more and glides to the next table. The act of goodwill leaves me speechless. My eyes follow the woman as she serves another customer. And the next, not once taking payment. Aw, that's sweet. Their age, the look in their eyes, they're all soldiers like me. I realize we who emerged from the war victorious, yes, but changed. Once kids, then cadets, then conscripts, now men. Lonely men sitting in a cafe watching the world we barely recognize from afar, wondering if we will ever find our place in it. I look down at the flaky pastry before me, a small kindness from a stranger. I think of the neighbors who welcomed me home, even if some understood my ordeal better than others. I think of Gran, whose unconditional love comforted me when I needed it most, and I think of Grace, who for all her peculiarities still understood me better than anyone. Grace may no longer be by my side, but there are still good people in the world. With their help, if fate wills it, soldiers like me will one day find our way back into the fold. I pick up the flaky pastry and bite into it, filling my mouth with its pillowy sweetness. The layers shatter, cream drips down my chin, and I snort at the mess I made. As I dab my mouth with a napkin, I peer over the clock to see who might have noticed my faux pas. In my eyes, I caught a strange shadow lingering in the river. It bobs and dances with light above it. I blink and wipe my eyes before looking again. The shape is gone. It moved fast. It's moving downstream. It can't be, can it? The napkin falls from my hand as I jump to my feet. Part of me worries I may be hallucinating, but I know that shadow as well as I know my own. I hurry to the QA towards the outline of the figure I thought I could never see again, especially from this far from home. Oh shit. My pace slows to a stop beneath the stonework of an ancient bridge whose shadow the shape disappeared. I don't dare believe it. Has she been searching for me, or is this just a miraculous happenstance? No coincidences. The QA is empty and shielded from view. I dare to whisper her name. Grace? Ha! She got a beret! Bonjour, Malcolm. My body teeters with shock. I stand frozen, split between collapsing in a heap of tears and jumping from the queue into her fins. 100 questions lie on the tip of my tongue, 1,000 words of apology and forgiveness. Where does one begin? Nice hat! How have you been? How are you? Question so often spoken without thought is this time asked in earnest? Grace takes her time before responding, and I hope she understands my care and intent. It's been a struggle at times adapting to this new life, but on the whole, I'm well. You? My mind races through the roller coaster of emotions I've experienced since she left. It's been better. Grace closes her eyes and nods in understanding. I see you've taken yourself on holiday. Are you enjoying your travels? I tell her about my departure from Scotland, crossing England by train, and a visit to London, where a Frenchman suggested I come to come to the continent and see how things have changed and healed. Grace in turn tells me where she has traveled and the amazing sights she has seen. I truly wish there were If there were a camera she could have carried to record her events that she encountered. The whole ocean at your fingertips. Why come you up to the scene? Is it obvious? I've been following you. You've been following me? Why? Steady Grace's pained expression, for all her strong sentiments, is still having a harder time letting go than I realized. Am I selfish for thinking it wouldn't have be equally hard for both of us? Grace passed the wall beside her, beckoning me over. I take a seat, letting my legs dangle from the QA. A knot of relief and excitement forms in my belly, or maybe it's just the pastry. It's very hard to tell. How have you been faring since neither of us dare say broke up? Since we went our separate ways, I've been lying if I didn't say it's been difficult. I still think about you every day. That's too high. I just picture her looking down, putting her hands behind her back and kicking at the ground or something like that. Even though I know she can't do that because she's got fins and she, doesn't have feet. She's got flippers. When Grace doesn't elaborate, my heart sinks. You haven't missed me, have you? I work hard every day to try and forget what we were, Malcolm. Not you, I can't forget you, but I let myself miss you, I can't move on. Her words sting as hard as a jellyfish. Then what are you doing here? Why follow me? And Grace's long neck curls in thought. Remember the day you, Marion, and I picnicked in the hill beneath the alders? Takes me a moment to shift my train of thought, but I do remember. It was the last day Grace looked fully human. Of course. It was after a particularly unpleasant Sunday service. It feels so long now. As my sister left, I watched hidden as you sat beneath those trees, deep in your own grief. At first I didn't want to disturb you, but I understood how you felt. And I didn't want you to have to suffer alone, even if you didn't know I was there. Aww. You made yourself known and whisked me off to your secret grotto. And look where that got us. She swishes her tail, our quiet, bittersweet laughter echoes off the stonework. Still, it doesn't do too much to lighten the mood. I'm sorry I caused you such anguish. I hope I can earn forgiveness. You've nothing to sorry for, Grace. This is simply hard for both of us. It hurts, but no tears come. I've cried so much, my tears have evaporated and turned into something hard inside, like stones I carry around inside. When they jostle, I no longer cry, but I'm reminded that I carry these kernels of sadness within me, as well as the seeds of healing. You always have a place in my heart, one that I keep reserved for you, even if I can't visit it, knowing the space must remain vacant. I find myself paraphrasing Grand's assurance to me. If where you travel stops being enough, may the memory that others love you bring you home. Grace smiles and sighs back over. Thank you, Malcolm. Please tell me about home. So our conversation shifts to that of old friends catching up. I fill Grace in on her sister's lives, or at least what I've gleaned from the letters. Jessie's thriving in the city, singing at a club called Claddy Pat's. You're to come see her perform if you're ever in town. Does Claddy Pat serve sea serpents? Probably not, but they might just let you join your sister's act. I guarantee it'd be a big draw. Jessie wouldn't want me stealing her show. On second thought, maybe I'll pay her a visit under some Glasgow bridge instead. Next, I repeat what I've learned from Marion's correspondences. Grace's expression turns sober when I mention her father's return home. That old man must be living over Jessie and me leaving. Oh, livid. I bet poor Marion must have hands full dealing with his bitterness. Actually, she's gone to live with Douglas. They're to be married soon. Grace shrieks in glee upon hearing Douglas and Marion's upcoming nuptials. That old mariner gets so heavy on Marion's treacle pudding. The next time he sets foot in the skiff, he'll sink straight into the bottom of the sea. Oops. Ah, but the skiff is no more. Traded it for a proper fishing trawler. Thanks to your generosity. You don't say. I'm glad to hear the treasure's being put to good use. Who'd you find to exchange gold for sterling? I tell Grace that little I know about Boggair's confidant, who indeed seems to have come through. Marion is circumspect about the subject in her letters, but it seems both she and Agnes have received regular sums that far exceed their needs. I always suspected Boggair might have a few tricks up his sleeve. You'll have to thank him for me when you return home. You could thank him yourself. You'll find him sailing the loch on the weekends in the old yacht we repaired. What, you gave away our boat? How do I tell Grace that the times we shared rebuilding the ship, once cherished memories, are now too painful to bear? In order to move on, the boat was just one more thing I had to let go. Well, not to be needing it on holiday after all. It was the least I could do for an old friend. Grace's head slumps in the mood, becoming subdued once more. We sit peacefully for a while. I can sense both of us eager to douse the other in questions and stories of late, but instead we just take the sight of each other. Grace also notices my yellow pocket square. You kept a piece of me with you. Of course! And I covered it in pastry crumbs. We both laugh as she pulls the piece of her sash out of my jacket and shakes out the crumbs. And then when she tucks it back in place, she lets her hand linger on my shoulder. It awakens a thirst in me. I know I can't quench, yet I can't help but tilt my head into her fin, letting it brush against my chin. It only strokes my desperate longing. Do you think we found each other here because we were meant to be together? No, but I think we were meant to see each other again. I nod solemnly, trying to swallow down the pain clinging in my throat. I tried so hard to let go. I know it's for the best, but sometimes it hurts more than I can bear. Oh, come on with the imagery! Guys, you're killing me with this shit. Oh, how do I turn off the freaking thing again? Hold on. Let's user interface. This is a screenshot. Look at that. Guys, you're killing me with the imagery. That is fucking beautiful. Oh, her fin mercifully wraps around me, pulling us together into an embrace. I've hopelessly needed. I hold tight to her, feeling the water coming off her scale, soaking into my linen shirt. Press my cheek to her neck and let her envelop what I am now. Look around us, Malcolm. The city is rebuilding. The world is healing. I don't want to be left behind. Move on with your friends will never be far. And when you don't realize it, fucking kiss her. She pulls away and lowers her head level to mine, making sure our eyes are locked. Kiss her. Be strong, be patient. I found my place, and my sisters have found theirs. Soon you'll find yours. Once more, I sense Grace is ready to part ways. I take solace, though, for I am positive this time our goodbye is not meant to last forever. Thank you for paying me a visit. For showing up when I need you, when I need a friend. I'll see you again. I hope very soon. How will you know where to find me? If I find you once, it can happen again. Hold up, right, Grace, come back over. Throw herself back into the river, stopping long enough to whisper back to me. Never ask a woman to share her secrets. Get your fish ass back up here. The last of her bubbles disappeared. So too does any trace of Grace. How such a large being can vanish into a narrow canal, I shall never know. My mysterious Grace, somehow so aloof, so mischievous, and also quite caring and understanding. I lied when I said I don't visit the space in my heart than the one reserved for her. I go to that space daily when I need to know I'm loved, cherished, worthy. That I go there when I can't even remind myself of my own worth. Knowing there's someone out there under the waves, moving along at her own speed, someone who loves me. That's what keeps me swimming. You couldn't have gave me a choice to kiss her? Give her a quick mwah. When I'm marching on the street level, I look around and see if anybody noticed our clandestine meeting. If anybody witnessed something unusual, they don't remark on such. I'm just surrounded by ordinary sights, sounds of Paris, an ambience which, after all the city has been through, is in fact quite extraordinary. Again, I am struck with the bright storefronts and cheerful city folk. Happy couples shuffling past, speaking to each other in a stream of words I can barely understand, and I try to picture myself strolling arm in arm with a partner among them. With Grace, such a thing would never be possible. Is my destiny to fall in love with someone who stands out from a crowd, or am I meant to find an ordinary partner, live an ordinary life? I don't know. I only know that an ocean of possibilities now stretched before me. I survey the vast metropolis full of renovated buildings and smiling faces. The city is ready to move on and rebuild. So shall I. Ugh. Why is Grace's the most heartfelt and heart-wrenching story? After making a painful decision to let go of what was loved most, the hurt one carries in her heart is which causes the most damage. It is not violence, cruelty, or any other punishment. It is mere simple, seemingly benign act of finality, or of saying goodbye. What Malcolm then carried in his heart was deep injury that can heal fully, but never return to his former shape. But with the damage comes the knowledge that nothing in your life could ever hurt you as badly. So forth he went, lived, learned, and grew. Letting go can help you go on. Good message, but I didn't like that. Those who strolled above us along the river that day were not as ignorant as I had assumed. 1 week later, a passerby's grainy photo of a Parisian rendezvous became an international sensation. The newspapers titled Grace Cini. I chuckled when I saw the headline and buy as many copies as I can to bring home to our families. I can't help but wonder what reclusive Grace would think of making the front page. Despite her new notoriety, I no longer worry about her safety. Cini will do just fine on her own. Adorable! In between my travels, I return home from time to time. Grace returns too, swimming up to the lock to pay us a visit. As Jessie predicted, her seafaring sister does miss her family. Grace tells me she continues to enjoy her life in the sea, seeing things she never would have seen if she'd stay and not crash, even if her journey is a solitary one. She's comfortable in her own scales, and which I am also learning to be, which I believe is more important than anything else. I come to terms with Grace's brief stopovers, commiserating with her about the shared bouts of loneliness. We both do our best to stay present and enjoy those we do and don't have around us. One person whose presence she decidedly doesn't enjoy is her father. Recently returning from his service, Grace avoids surfacing at times when he tends to his coastal pastures. I know the suffering brought home by the McLeod patriarch. Owen carries his sadness proudly, like a scar. Even Marion, who loves him most, has run out of patience and apathy and anger. For his apathy and anger. His farm, once so lively under Marion's stewardship, has turned cold and joyless under his own. Fortunately, his eldest daughter has found a new refuge to call home. Marion now lives in town with her husband Douglas. The two could not be more potent pair, somehow finding time to make home and grow their fishing business, much bolstering by the trawling and purchasing with Grace's gold. Their wedding, held on the cliffs overlooking the loch, was unforgettable. It seemed like the whole village filled with the audience, though I wasn't among them. Marion asked me to be her best man. From the purchase... Jesus criminy Christmas! I forgot I said that. From the perch beside the altar, I could see Grace hidden in the cove, silently cheering her sister on. Seeing the warmth between the newlyweds that day, from then on, it filled my heart and gave me clarity at last. I finally know what my dream is. I deeply desire to have someone with whom I share all my life, and I believe that day will come. Till that day, I'm able to travel safe in the knowledge that Gran is well cared for by Marion, Douglas, and Bulgaire. I continue my journeys, roaming without destination, but not without purpose. Mostly I'm grateful that I was pushed away by Grace to live my own life, pushed by Jesse to leave town, pushed by my own agency to discover what exists beyond self-imposed bounds. I've been given my life back, moved past my pain in ways that others cannot. If the path to my dreams is lined with pain and suffering, I admit it's truly how to get the best out of the worst. For every moment of trauma, I still believe I have been given an equal time and glory from restoration, for happiness and contentment, and for that, I thank everyone I can. I'm trying to give back with the financial resources I have. I have also begun volunteering at the hospital in Inverness. Now I spend time assisting other war survivors and their families in heal. Let my philanthropy simply be monetary. I make attempts to use my story of growth to survival to guide others to offer hope. I've even met a kind nurse, a woman my age who has seen absolute tragedy of human suffering. Her heart appears to grow every time she cares for someone, every time a man who enters the hospital at death's door can leave the building walking, even smiling again. Indeed, her smile brings about mine, and the thing I find most intriguing about her is that she absolutely, positively hates to swim. Oh, man, I don't like that. Synchronized swimming. Reach the end of Grace's story. I didn't like that. I like the endings where I was with the was with the one that I chose to be with. I mean, that was good. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the story itself. I just don't like the path I took. I like the other one better just because of the fact that, well, I can't show that. Just mainly because this game is amazing, and the choices you make have really interesting impacts on your own personal life or your own personal choices. I mean, yeah, I could choose to, I'm going to have to go through this and be a dick completely, try and get like the not date anybody ending, try and get a few of the other trophies or the other achievements and stuff like that. And apparently, I didn't look into how to do this, but apparently you can turn Malcolm into a seal, ? I don't know how to get that, but I want to find it. This game is just, like I said, this game is just amazing. If you guys haven't gone out there and bought this game yourselves and supported these guys, what is wrong with you? Because this game is just amazing. From the subtle animation styles to the storyline to all kinds of things. Like I say, Grace's chapter, that second half of it was the most heartfelt and had your heart in a vice, because of you're literally forced apart from the woman you love. You're literally forced apart where you can't be with one another. No matter how much you love somebody, sometimes you have to let them go. And that speaks volumes to myself because of my own past. But still, it's like, I'm not going to go into that because obviously it's nobody's really business and I'm not going to put too much of myself out there. But just know it's like, I do know how, how that feels. I have moved on from my past and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm married and have 2 kids. So, you know, obviously I have moved on and I do understand the choices. It's just, God, it's heartbreaking. And that imagery is so freaking good. It just, it kills me. But that's going to do it for this episode of Changing Tale. Like I said, this isn't going to be the last episode because there's obviously stuff I haven't seen yet. There's stuff that I haven't explored yet. I might do one more thing real quick before actually I end this out because of that. Stop. Okay, I gotta ask. Nice hat. I like it, but hey. Smiles and looks up. Fancy it too. Passing under a bridge, a stiff breeze lifted off a lady's head and plopped right into the drink. Thought about returning it to her, but decided to keep it as a souvenir rather than make a scene. My head bobs up and down automatically. I hear her words, but there's still so much I can't process. My heart, it's racing. Things only places a finger on my chest. Oh my, it is. It's like you've seen a ghost. Just a bit like that. Reach out toward her as well. Yeah? Always. Place my hand softly against the skin below her collarbone. Her heart is pounding too. It's been swimming for days, Mappy. Keeping an eye on you. She been following me? Why? Okay, now this is... Okay, I'll be right back if there's something new. Didn't change a fucking thing. But that was funny, though. Anyway, like I said, that's going to do it for this episode. I went a little bit longer because I got to the end of the chapter. But like I say, there are more to look at. There is so much more. Oops. No. No. Did not mean to click on that. But like I say, there's so much more to try and find. See, one night stand, a crisis of faith. There's a deal there. A new family. There's a thing there. And that's just the first chapter. Because, I mean, obviously, this is how you go to each deal. This is where you choose her ending, or her deal. You go into Grace's deal there, and of course you go into Marion's chapter there. There's a secret alternate path and another path there. That's probably the single ending or something like that. And then, of course, you've got these, and apparently there is a fishing minigame somewhere. Sink or swim. Giving in. Yeah, catch or release. There's another thing right there. There's Paris, and then there's this. And then, of course, there's On the Scent. Lost. I don't know what this is. Found. Our Last Dance. Then, of course, there's a thing for her deal, obviously. I got the one where you're able to get her to go out. There is an ending where she stays in. I mean, I just feel like an ass to get it, though, because there's some of these. But like I say, that's the ending I got there, the ending I got there, and of course, that true ending there. Because, oh yeah, there's that ending. And of course, that ending. So I got 2 of the potential, I'm guessing 3 endings for 2 of the past. So I missed a deal here somewhere. So I'm betting this one maybe? Because this seems like it would be an ending. I don't know, but that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if I'm going to move into the next one or if I'm going to start something else, because I do want to finish some other couple of games. I also figured you could spin these out. I don't know what this does, but... And just dicking around the menu trying to find Hazel's deal, I found out you can turn these. I don't know why. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, and peace. Watch out.